up, guys? Cars Across Sexy today, and today you join me here at the dealership once again. I don't really know the point of it. Well, I do. I planned this out ahead of time, right? I got the keys to an S650 5.0, really nice one actually, probably the favorite one of mine that we have on the lot right now. We're gonna hop in it, check it out, take it for a little drive, maybe discuss where the channel's going, future car possibilities, and all that other stuff, and just kind of, you know, have a conversation. I think that's the point of today. But let me show you the car we got. And also remember, I'm at Dog Ford. I've sold 5 cars here in my first week. All of you guys, I really appreciate you boys letting me run your business. Remember, I'm gonna get you the best deal that I possibly can on anything new and used. We have like 10 dealerships. I can sell basically any brand new. And I also have a ton of used car inventory right now. I think 500 at the moment, and rapidly growing as we acquire more dealerships. But let's check out this S650. Let's get driving around real quick and let's have a little chat. So this is the S650 I have grabbed the keys for. And I'm not really sure why, but this one just really stuck out to me, and I've been really enjoying how this thing looks. We just got this in. It's rapid red over Ember Glow leather. Of course, 10R80, 5.0, got the Gen 4 Coyote under the hood, 470 horsepower to the crank from the factory. I think this is why I like this interior though. It's kind of like a King Ranch color interior on the Mustang, which I really like. I don't know if is it dark red? Is it brown? I can't really tell, but it's really, really nice. And let's get checking this out. So here's as cold of a cold start and 80-degree day you're gonna get with an S650. This thing has not been driven in a day or two, so. There we go. You know, they sound good from the factory, but definitely could use an exhaust and some headers. Let's take a look. I just learned about this feature too. So we got to have the engine turned on completely, not in remote start mode. You get 3.5 miles on this thing. Oh, that is nice. But I just learned about this feature. I thought this was a dark horse only thing, but I actually learned with one of y'all when y'all came to test drive this. So we're gonna unlock and then unlock again. I think. Hold on. Let me do this. So you unlock and then you lock it, and it revved once, right? Now you do that again. There we go. You get the remote rev. I thought that was a dark horse only feature, but it is not. It's on everyone, even the bases. So this one is a premium. So standard, you do have the big screens here, simplified up the interior, no more calculator screens or anything like that. This one does have like lane departure assist, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, all the good stuff, wireless CarPlay, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's very, very nice. They finally made a Mustang with an interior that's, you know, worth a shit. So let's get driving. So obviously 3.5 miles. I'm not going to be beating on this thing too hard. Let me turn down this fan. Oh, I'm going to get blown away. But it's got 3.5 miles on it. I'm not going to go dogging on it. I promise, boys. Some of y'all cringe when I get on something like when I had the Hellcats at Dodge and I'd get on it with low miles. I'm not gonna do that. They've also made these much more smoother riding vehicles, honestly. I had my S197 V6 Mustang back in the day, and the ride quality in the interior makes this feel like a Rolls Royce over that. But I guess really the first thing that I wanted to apologize for is, you know, I have been very consistent over the year, but I have not been so consistent since I started here. I guess I kind of wanted like a mental break from sitting down and editing. I love the car mates. I love making the content. I love recording it. The editing sometimes just gets to me because it's not always the most exciting thing to go and do that and go through all the footage I end up getting. The videos I post when they're 20 minutes are usually about 2 hours of footage, if not more. And I don't know, my attention span at that point is also very, very, very small. It also was a little easier to be consistent when I was between Toyota and Ford. I did take like 2 or 3 weeks off between starting at Ford and leaving Toyota. So that was nice to have that little break and be able to really hammer down on YouTube. But I do need to start getting back into it more consistently and hopefully switching up some content, which leads me into another thing that I wanted to talk to you boys about, right? So in my video where I rode around the C8, I know I got like a comment or two or a couple messages about, you know, somebody said like, congrats on the house, bro. Currently renting from a family member, right? To save a little bit of money for one thing, and also I want a house of my own very soon. Obviously, I have a little family now with my daughter. She'll be 2 in May. And also, you know, backyard for Enzo. You know, y'all all love Enzo. So we need to take care of him, which is nice with the rental house. You know, I got the backyard for Enzo and everything. And definitely saving a little bit of money. But here's my moral dilemma, right? I know y'all wanted to see another project car on the channel. I get messages about it all the time. On Instagram, on everything. I always get people telling me, y'all want to see some skin in the game, and I get that, I appreciate that, right? I know the car meets get a little repetitive, especially not really going out of Houston, because it's a lot of the same cars and a lot of the same meets and a lot of the same everything. So that is one thing that I have noticed, and I also just feel like I am happier as a content creator when I have a car of my own. So it gives me something different to edit as well. I think that's also part of the reason why I get so, I guess, distracted while editing. I'll go play Call of Duty or something like that instead of editing the videos, and I apologize, boys. But I'm in a moral dilemma, right? Since I said I wanted a house, right? If I get a car, if I pay cash for something that's fairly cheap and still fun, you know, I mean, I've been kind of tossing around the idea in my head of like just finding like a cheap little G8 to build or something like that, but I don't think that would do well on YouTube. I don't really know what other builds I could do for, you know, like a cheap sort of cash amount, whatever, which would also hurt my approvals getting a house once they go through those bank statements and everything like that. So you're like, hey bro, what are you doing spending X amount of cash on a house? I mean, a car. So that's one thing I've been thinking of, right? Then I could also go and finance a car, and in that way I could get something, you know, a little bit more extravagant, a little bit more exciting. You know, like, which I really don't know. I talked with Elliot, High Performance Connection, about, you know, possible potential builds, and we kind of landed on thinking an S197 GT500 would be pretty cool. You do like full bolt-ons, cams, and all that stuff. You're not really spending a whole lot of money aftermarket-wise. Obviously, you can find those for about 50 grand, maybe a little bit less. 50 grand gets you a pretty nice one. He seemed to think that would be a pretty cool channel build, because it'd look good, it'd sound good, it'd be decently fast, you know, like 780, 800 wheel horsepower, something like that. I don't know. There's so many options out there, and I don't know what the best path forward would be, right? If I were to get a project car, obviously that helps the channel. It helps bring up views, potentially increasing the income. Obviously, YouTube does pay me and everything like that. I do have my main job at Doggett here. But you know, the more income, the merrier, and I just want to be able to prove as much income as I can when I go to buy a house. But then also having the extra hit on my credit, the credit inquiry obviously doesn't help. The extra loan, the extra payment, the extra debt to income, none of that helps me in the long run. And obviously, I like, you know, with a family, the house is very important to me, but also like YouTube, you guys are very important to me too. I mean, I'm in a truly blessed situation to be where I am. Obviously, it's no secret that YouTube is not paying me as much as it used to, right? I mean, that was when my channel was really popping off and everything like that. But another thing to consider, right, is in that sort of price range, that $50,000 price range, I gotta be careful, right? Like, I could get a new S650, right? I'd get a good deal on it working at Ford. And it might be cool. I mean, I'd be able to, well, I guess you can't really tune them yet, but I mean, there's some stuff that you can do to them still, and, you know, kind of progress as the mods kind of come out, and see what I can do with that. But obviously I could run into the same dilemma as the Camaro, where it just seems a little too common for a YouTube build. I feel like I gotta find something that's not so overdone and oversaturated, but still popular enough to get people into the channel. But also, it has to be something that I personally want and enjoy myself as well. Which has been my biggest dilemma, is just figuring out what I want. And then, like I said with the house as well, it doesn't help. And I just wanted to see what you guys are thinking, right? I want to make YouTube be like a lasting forever thing. Like, I love doing this, man. I love being able to go out and just, you know, be an idiot about cars, and just, I don't know, it's just really cool. I feel very you know, fortunate to be in the situation, and it just worries me that without a build, without kind of being able to advance the content, man, it is warm in here. Let me get the AC going back up. Without me kind of moving forward, getting back into a build and getting back into doing this, that, and the other, I feel like YouTube will absolutely flatline and kind of become stagnant. But I'm just kind of at a crossroads, boys, and I just wanted to have a conversation with y'all. Are y'all here for the long haul? I know some of y'all are. Y'all, I know the comments, the familiar faces I see down below. I've been doing my very best to respond to every comment that I get on my videos this year, and I hope y'all enjoy the interaction. Another thing with the S650, right, is if I get, man, I'm saying right a lot. What am I doing? Another thing, if I get the S650, is at dealerships, I've always kind of felt like if you drive a vehicle there that you sell, I feel like you just sell more of them, right? Again, I said right. When I was working at Dodge, I'm sure y'all have seen in the videos, I bought the Grand Cherokee for Allie as her mom car. And that car's awesome, by the way. I love that car. But I bought that for her. And after I bought that, dude, I was the Grand Cherokee kingpin, man. I was the #1 at the dealership. I was slinging them left and right and up and down and all over the place, no matter what the trims. I feel like it's just kind of like a law of attraction. When you have something, you sell more of them. And if I get an S650, maybe it does that, and I sell more of them at the dealership. But I don't know. I do miss the Vet. I think the ultimate bang for your buck, man. I really don't think there's a better car out there for the price, for the money, looks-wise, performance-wise, creature comfort-wise, than a C706. I miss that car so much, and I think that is probably my biggest regret in my whole entire life, is selling that car. Although I did do very well selling it at the time I did, between, you know, I bought it kind of right when COVID started and sold at peak of the market. Like, I made my money back on the mods as well on that, which was insane. But I think that was the wrong decision, man. I think I would enjoy, I feel like in the YouTube scene, part of me over the last few years, I mean, I just hadn't been going to car meets as much. I feel like not having that car kind of contributed to that, honestly. And I just feel like that's the perfect car. And I feel like I could have done more with that and made more content with it, and, you know, just enjoyed what I drove more. But, you know, hindsight's 2020. I felt like I was making a good decision at the time. I tried in my head, I had like this delusional thing where I was like, I'm a investor. I'm the Warren Buffett of options trading, because I had a couple good trades when I first sold that car. And then I blew up the account, of course, right? So I just was stupid. But I'd love another Vet, dude. Like a C6ZR1 would be cool. I don't know if I'd, you know, want to spend $80,000 on a C6. I just don't feel like that's worth that kind of dollar. It is, you know, top 2 dream car for me, right? Obviously, you know how much I love the Gen 5 Vipers. C6ZR1s are up there too. I feel like that's a 1-2 punch that, depending on the day you ask, they could be interchangeable. But dream cars are dream cars at a certain price, at least for me, and I don't know if a C6 is worth that kind of money. The GT500 route could be cool. A 6 Gen ZL1 could be cool. But a house also could be cool. And I just want to see what y'all think, boys. I want to see, would y'all have my back if I went out and spent some bread on a car? Would y'all think it would increase the viewership? I know I talk about it all the time, and I just tease y'all all the time about it. But between changing jobs and YouTube, just, you know, it's been down before from what it was before. I just want to know what would y'all, as viewers, right? I don't really watch a lot of car YouTube outside of just editing my own stuff. What would y'all like to see? If I get a build, what would be something that would capture your attention as a viewer? You know, somebody, you see it in a thumbnail, what are you clicking on? When you see a car in a thumbnail, is it the color? Is it the type of car? Is it, you know, what is it? I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love to know what y'all think about my current situation. I don't mean to sound like a complainer either, but, you know, it's just a weird, you know, kind of a crossroads where I can, you know, go on and get the house for the family and everything, or I could take the leap of faith again and try to make YouTube pop off and, you know, increase income there, and then you don't have to worry about that as far as getting approved for a house. But I do think I'm generally happier with the car. There's also cars that would make sense as like a family vehicle, right? Or I could kind of get away justifying it in my head that way, right? I could do a CTS-V. I could go the cheaper route and do a V2, which still look great, can make some decent power. Or I could spend a little bit more money and go for the V3, which obviously looks incredible. I think the V3 is one of the most gangster looking cars, especially all blacked out. Or, I was gonna say German car, but I don't think a German car is the way to go. I don't think that's me. I don't think that's me as a person, as a content creator. I mean, as with the GTR, I got bored with that, Ali loved that car, so in the future, if I'm ever making some dollar bills, whether that be on YouTube or at the dealership, if I get promoted to finance or whatever, I wouldn't be opposed to another GTR. I learned my lessons on the last one. The last one was a total turd. A 17 Plus would likely be the move. But that's not the next car, I promise you. I promise you that. That would have to be likely a second vehicle after, the one that I'd want, because then Ali would just be driving that one everywhere. We put about 5 miles on the car. Our fuel is very low, so we're going to get back to the dealership. I'd really just like to know what y'all are thinking about anything, really. It could be about the next car. It could be about the channel. It could be what you want to see. It could be totally unrelated to cars. It could be about the dealership if you're wanting to buy a car, if you need help buying a car. Even if you're not buying from me, I'm here to help. If you just want to know something else, like I'm ready. I want this video to be kind of conversational. I want you to hear what y'all are thinking, what y'all are saying, and all that good stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed. It was nice just kind of talking and driving around for a brief little bit. I know, I didn't go for a long ride. I didn't do any rips, but I did not want to, break this Mustang because it had 3.5 miles on it when I got into it. Now it has about 9 miles on it, which is still nowhere near enough to send it. But it was cool driving, the first 2 cars we sold here were Mustangs. I really like the S650. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling. I came into this with a general idea what I wanted to do, but not exactly what I wanted to say. So, we are back at the dealership, though. Hopefully you boys enjoyed. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're saying. And what do you think would be a cool build if I'd go that route? What would y'all like to see? You want to see a Mustang? I feel like everybody thinks I'm a GM guy when I'm not really brand loyal. I just find good deals on GM vehicles at the time of me being ready to buy. So, I don't know. That's the thing. Hopefully you boys enjoyed. I will catch you guys in the next video, and be looking out for more car content, car meets. Hopefully I can get some more street racing in. I love the street racing content as much as the next guy, but street racing's kind of dead in Houston, not gonna lie. Especially there's no track. I guess I could do 8th mile track, but 8th mile, at least if it's on the street, 8th mile is cool, but as a track, I don't know if 8th mile is, my favorite thing. But just rambling again. I don't know. Hopefully you boys enjoyed. I'll catch you next, guys. Peace.